Hey everyone, it's me, Lorenmakesart, back with another speed draw video, yay! But, this time instead of it being a Q&A speed draw, it's actually a, character redesign, or a redraw, if you will. I mentioned it, I believe, in my People and Pets video, the one about the comic strip I made when I was a kid. I did that video a couple months back. I mentioned how, sometimes for fun, I like to, redesign old characters that I drew, in elementary school, middle school, even early high school, because, it helps me realize that I've become a better artist, and, it shows how much I've improved, and it's just a fun thing to do to pass the time. It's a good warm-up for drawing. And, I kept thinking about it, and I realized I wasn't going to get the next video out on time because I've been moving into my dorm, and my classes start on Monday, the day of the eclipse, so yippee for me. But I wanted to still post something, so here's what I'm posting. I am redrawing this old character of mine that I think I drew in about 8th grade. It's this little boy. I never named him. He's just he really likes candy, and he has messy hair. I posted the original version of him on my DeviantArt, and I think in the description, my old DeviantArt, I should specify, not my current one. And I think I specified in the description that he reminded me of, what, the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka would look like as a kid, but I don't know if that's the case much anymore, but I think it's the hair, mostly. Not that he had, crazy hair in that movie, but, he had that color hair and that kind of... That's pretty much where the comparison stops outside the chocolate bars, so I digress. But it's kind of hard to see, obviously, because I filmed this speedrun and recorded this audio separately. But there's a good shot of him right there. Back when I was in 8th grade, I was really obsessed with anime, and everything I drew was very chibi style, even though his, mouth and his nose are very... In the original drawing, they're very not anime chibi style. In fact, I did that specifically to get out of my comfort zone at the time. But, those eyes, man, those freaking eyes are so anime, it's ridiculous. And just the body proportions, the giant, giant head in relationship to the body. No ears, that's the funny thing, okay? Listen to this, okay? So I get comments all the time saying, why do you draw your characters' ears so big? And it's you guys don't even know, I used to not draw ears at all. It's this hilarious progression in my art style where it went from no ears to, one tiny ear on, the side of, the character's head, like Mr. Crocker from Fairly OddParents style. And then when I was about I want to say sophomore or junior, that's when I finally realized how to draw normal ears. And then around my senior year, freshman year of college, I started doing the whole big ears thing. And I know, it is not anatomically, correct to draw people with such big ears, but it's just fun. I like it. It's the same reason why I like to draw really, just a huge variety of noses nowadays. Because, when you're first starting out drawing, and if you were like me and you were really into anime, you draw the tiny noses, because you think, oh, big noses are ugly. But, no. Big noses are beautiful, bruh. And big noses are much more fun to draw. So, just between the ears and the noses, I've really learned to, have a variety in my art style. Oh, what else can I talk about? So basically what I'm doing for this is I'm just redrawing this kid in my more current style. He obviously has a more proportionate body, slightly less anime-like eyes and hair, but, then that's something that will always slightly linger in my art style. I recall there was somebody in one of my videos in the comment section was like, I don't like the way you draw eyes, it really bugs me, and it's psh, too bad, bro, that's how I draw them. I ain't changing that just to please you. You're a stranger on the internet, bruh. Oh yeah, and right here I realized I forgot to merge, so the sketch layer where I was originally drawing the circle shape for the head, I accidentally merged it with, the layer where I was drawing the actual face, so later on in the video I, work on erasing that, and it's just awful. But yeah, yeah, also, while I was drawing all this, I was listening to Game Grumps compilations, so every once in a while I switch back, just to check on where I am in that video, and so, if in the middle of this speed draw you see random Game Grumps clips, that's why. You know me, I love my Game Grumps, love those guys, but, I guess... Oh, yeah, and that's when I was realizing that when you hold a candy bar, your thumb is actually underneath the candy bar. It's not on top of it like the rest of your fingers are when you're, like, grabbing it, you know? But I think it's like I was saying, little things like that, you know, you learn all the time as an artist, and you get better and better with practice and practice, but there's no, like, quintessential, yes, I have made it, this is now the pinnacle of how good I can be at art, I will no longer have to keep practicing and improving. Like, you will always be practicing and improving. Like, there's no reason to just be like, nope, I like where I am right now, and therefore I'm not going to try and get better, because, like, it just... you're going to become too self-absorbed with how you are, and you're never going to want to learn and change, and that's the beauty about art. You can always learn and change things. Like, oh, by the way, here's me going back, really zooming in on the face here, just trying to erase all that sketch layer, like, no, like, pro tip for all you kids out there, keep track of your layers, don't like, if you think you accidentally merged some layers, then just triple check. Yeah, I have a huge problem with mouths. You might have noticed it earlier when I was still sketching out his face. It took me like 70 tries to get the mouth right, because I always, like, I love drawing exaggerated, angry, and sad faces, but when it comes to smiles, I do them so over the top that when I try to do, like, a subtle, like, normal smile, it always ends up looking creepy. Always ends up looking creepy. But getting back to what I was saying, it's always important to, like, you know, just keep going and keep trying. And, like, you know, I'll probably look back on this redraw in a couple years and be like, no, you know what, I can do better. And I might redraw it again. But I also would love to make this an ongoing series. So, like, you know, leave a comment below if you're enjoying this. I want to say that, I think what I might do to make this fun for all of y'all at home is make a little contest out of this. So what I'm actually going to do is, well, first of all, let me talk about the shading here. The art program I use is Krita, obviously, Krita, and much like most good drawing programs, it has a magic wand tool. So instead of having to, like, you know, use the paint bucket tool, which can get really glitchy sometimes if you don't have all the lines filled in, the magic wand tool, which is like if you look on the right of the screen where all the tools are, it's like second from the bottom on the left column. It's like, you know, a fairy wand. It selects the majority of the area that you want to color in, and you will only have, like, if you move your mouse around anywhere on the screen, it'll just color in that area. It's very, very nice. Very convenient. Oh, the stripity-stripities. This very pastel little boy. Very cute. If not somewhat odd. Yeah. Anyway, contest, yes. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is, leave in the comments below. So here's the thing. I never named this kid. That's the catch. I think his name is Random Kid on my original DeviantArt page. I never named him. So I'm gonna make a contest out of this. Whoever, like, leave your comment down below. Like, this isn't like a race to see who does it first. It's just whoever, like, comes up with the best name that I think suits the kid the best, I will give you a shout out in the next video. And, I don't know, something else, not whatever else, but, like, maybe one other thing at your request, but, like, I'll, like, publicly announce in the comment section, like, hey, this is the winner, and I'll, like, pin the top comment, like, this is the winner of the contest. So if you win, like, if you come up with the best name for this kid, then, more power to you. Yeah. Now we're getting into, like, you know, like, the very detailed shading thing, which is something that I still struggle with to this day. Like, back in the day, I did not touch shading, and I'd like to say I get better at it as time goes on, both with, like, the face and clothing, and especially hair, which I'm very experimental with, but, like, you know, again, it's just one of those, again, it's just one of those, watch tutorials, watch other people, try out different techniques, and that's how you get better. It's not one of those, nope, I am at the place where I want to be right now, and I'm good, because, trust me, you're not gonna improve that way, and if you think that you absolutely love where you are right now in your art, just wait a couple months, if not a couple years, and look back on it. Like, I think I've mentioned this before in other speed draws, maybe, I don't know, but, like, I recall when I was I want to say a junior in high school, I had this little sketch pad that I liked to draw in, and even just, like, going into my senior year, I went back and looked at some of those doodles, and they were only a few months old, and I was like, these are garbage. That's how much I was improving. Now, it's not, like, you know, necessarily a bad thing to bash old art, because, like, you don't want to, like, just poo-paw everything you've ever done that's in the past, because, like, it's all about learning and growing from your experiences. It's not about just completely denying that the past, like, you know, like, it doesn't matter. I did that when I was, like, 14. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, you gotta acknowledge that you at least were better at 14 than you were at, say, like, 3 or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I don't want to get too deep, but, yeah. But yeah, anyway, shading, that's something that I'm still kind of new at, so excuse, like, you know, the airbrushing tools and, like, you know, the very, like, I don't know, like, I like the way the hair turned out, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like, oh, in a couple months, I'm going to absolutely hate it. Like, I remember there was this piece I did, when I was a senior, I think it was when I was a freshman in college, and I thought it was, like, super duper good. I'm not going to say what the piece was, because it was fan art, and you can probably find it on my DeviantArt page, but basically, I thought it was super awesome, and then, like, fast forward a year or two, and I was like, ugh. Like, even stuff I've done maybe a few months ago, before I realized that the stabilizer tool was a thing, I'm like, this would have been perfect, except that it's not stable. Like, I don't know. I'm rambling. Oh, yeah. Let's see, we're adding the freckles. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Coloring the teeth. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. Leave your name for the character down in the comments, and have a great day. Adios. New video next week.